Good evening, I'm your host Camelia and you're watching KiniNews. Najib's new legal team have huffed and puffed, but they could not sway the federal court to delay his final appeal.
Najib Abdul Razak's final appeal to quash his conviction and sentencing in the 42 million ringgit SRC International corruption case will proceed next month. The federal court this afternoon denied an application by the former Prime Minister's new legal team to adjourn the hearing scheduled for 10 days from August 15th. On Tuesday, Najib's new batch of lawyers, headed by Hisyam Teh Poh Teik, sought the postponement as the legal team had just been appointed. The team replaced the previous lawyers headed by Muhammad Shafee Abdullah for the SRC appeal before the apex court. Former Prime Minister Najib is seeking to quash his guilty verdict over 7 charges of abuse of power, criminal breach of trust and money laundering involving 42 million ringgit of SRC funds, as well as a 12-year jail sentence and 210 million ringgit fine.
Yesterday, the Dewan Rakyat passed the constitutional amendment bill aimed at discouraging MPs from switching parties. Reacting to it, Anwar said it was funny that even frogs had backed it.
Opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim today took a swipe at lawmakers who backed the bill aimed at discouraging MPs from switching parties, despite the latter having done so. In a short video on his social media, Anwar also criticized those who collaborated with defectors.
Tapi yang melucukan itu semalam, kita dapat 209 ahli parlimen, ya, termasuk pendirian Pakatan Harapan memang konsisten. Orang-orang yang bersekongkol dalam komplot khianat ini, dan kata-kata orang yang dianggap melompat pun turut mengundi. Jadi kan satu perkara yang agak lucu tapi menyenangkan, alhamdulillah.
Some 41 MPs have switched sides either willingly or were removed from their parties since 2018. One of them, Simpang Renggam MP Mazli Malik, joined Anwar's party PKR. Bersatu, which accepted the highest number of defectors, did not participate in the debate on the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022 that spanned 2 days. They claimed they did so to avoid unnecessary arguments with other MPs. However, most of them were present when the vote on the bill was called. Anwar said the passing of the bill was a victory for the public because now they can vote with confidence.
Now that the anti-hopping bill has been passed, Harapan says there are 3 more pledges to go based on the MOU with the Prime Minister.
Pakatan Harapan will pursue 3 remaining reform promises made by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob in their Memorandum of Understanding. The 3 pledges include limiting the tenure of a Prime Minister to less than 10 years, passing a Parliament Services Act and amending the Parliament Standing Orders. In a statement, Harapan's Presidential Council said 15 out of the 18 pledges in the MOU had already been implemented. Harapan said it acknowledged the Prime Minister's statement 2 days ago in which he said there was no need for a new agreement. It said this means that the agreement will be enforced until Parliament is dissolved. 2 days ago, Ismail Sabri said he intended to introduce more reforms. Prior to this, there was widespread misinformation that the MOU would expire on July 31st. Instead, both Ismail Sabri and Harapan agreed in the MOU that Parliament should not be dissolved before July 31st. This means that Harapan was still obliged to support Ismail Sabri's supply bills and any bills that were intended to test the Prime Minister's support in the Dewan Rakyat.
A key witness in Zahid's corruption trial is still positive of COVID-19. This means his trial will be postponed to next month.
The hearing of Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's corruption case over the foreign visa system has been postponed to August 10th. This is because the last prosecution witness to be called to testify still tested positive for COVID-19. At the proceedings today, the High Court in Shah Alam was told that the witness, who is a MACC investigating officer, was still positive with COVID-19 and in quarantine until July 31st. Zahid is facing 33 charges of receiving bribes amounting to 42 million ringgit from UKSB as an inducement for himself in his capacity as a civil servant and the then Home Minister. On another 7 counts, Zahid was charged with receiving millions of ringgit in cash from the same company in connection with his official work as Home Minister.
ADAP lawmaker urged more NGOs and MPs to lodge police reports against Apandi Ali over his handling of investigations linked to Najib.
Klang MP Charles Santiago today urged fellow MPs and civil society groups to lodge police reports against former Attorney General Muhammad Apandi Ali. This is over alleged abuse of power to cover up investigations into SRC International and 1MDB. He called on other political parties to come on board to prevent abuse of power, adding that DAP has lodged 6 police reports on the matter and Pejuang has lodged 1 report. The lawmaker said this after he was called into the Klang Selatan District Police Department to assist in the investigation of his police report, which he lodged on Wednesday. He was questioned by the police for about 45 minutes. His lawyer, John Pham, was also present. Charles said the report will be forwarded to Bukit Aman for further investigation. The DAP lawmaker had accused Apandi of having the intention to free former Premier Najib Abdul Razak from facing his corruption trial. Free Malaysia Today reported yesterday that Bukit Aman has opened an investigation into Apandi following Charles's report.
UMNO is still in the dark over its party constitutional amendment because the ROS still hasn't given the party an answer.
UMNO has so far not received any notice from the Registrar of Societies on its application to amend its party constitution. It has been over 10 days since UMNO submitted the additional documents requested by the ROS. Speaking to Malaysia Kini, UMNO Secretary General Ahmad Mazlan confirmed the matter. However, he said the ROS should reply any time now. On July 17th, Ahmad was reported to have said that he had given the ROS a week or 2 to examine the additional documents provided for UMNO's bid to amend the party constitution. He also said the matter should not take long, as UMNO has already followed all necessary procedures. The constitutional amendment being sought is to allow UMNO to postpone party elections for up to 6 months after the implementation of a general election for the country.
Guan Eng wants the Prime Minister to hold off from dissolving Parliament until states adopt the anti-hopping laws.
All states should amend their respective state constitutions to enact an anti-hopping law before the 15th general election is triggered. This is the call made by DAP chairperson Lim Guan Eng to Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Lim said that this was to ensure uniformity, consistency, and certainty after a similar law was passed in Dewan Rakyat. He added that there should be no different sets of laws between the respective states and the federal constitution to cleanse the country's political framework. The Bagan MP also said that all 3 Pakatan Harapan-led states, namely Selangor, Penang, and Negeri Sembilan, would amend the respective state constitutions to incorporate the anti-hopping law. He further called on the Prime Minister to direct state governments under the BN Perikatan Nasional umbrella to also amend the respective state constitutions to enact anti-hopping law. Yesterday, the constitutional amendment bill aimed at discouraging MPs from switching parties was passed in the Dewan Rakyat.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.